All right, it's got my bone stock Sega Genesis down there with an EverDrive in it. And we're going to take a look at Wolfenstein 3D for the Sega Genesis. We're going to take another look. We are going to take another look at Wolfenstein 3D for the Sega Genesis because I've shown this before. This is a port that's done by GA Sega 68K. And I showed this off in, I believe, about 2014. And he had been continually updating this, I believe, up until 2018. So this is a newer version of the port that I showed. And right away in the options menu, I can see, I believe we just had new game and debug. Maybe load game was an option. I don't remember it having save support, and I believe it does have save support now. I don't think we had these sound options. So we can turn off sound effects and music, and there's a sound test if you want to play music or sound effects. This is definitely new. We've got a graphics option now. We definitely did not have this before. It looks like we can apply some filters. Honestly, I'm not sure why you would want to or how those look. If you want to check this out for yourself, I will have the link in the description. But I'll let you figure out what those look like, and maybe if you like one of the look of one of those filters better. In debug, we can show FPS, so that's interesting. Let's turn that on. And a whole bunch of other options, I guess, that we can turn on and off. Save game mode, normal. Yeah, like I said, this does have save support now, or SRAM. So hopefully on the EverDrive that works, but it should. Well, anyways, let's just go for it. New game, episode 1. Of course, only episode 1 is here because that was technically, I guess, the shareware. So this may not be technically pirating, basically. All right. 17 frames per second. Drops down to 15. I was going to say, I remember the older port running at about 15 frames per second, but let's see. Oh, A is shoot. C is open doors. Open doors is also, yeah, open doors is also strife or strafe. So what would B do? Run? Yeah. So B runs. Yeah, it looks like we're typically around 16, 17 frames per second. So I think it is running a little bit better than the older port that I showed. Not sure if graphically it looks any better. I noticed less. I want to say on the older port there was a lot of like vertical lines, almost like every other line was drawn. And when you got up close to things, you saw a lot of lines. I think on some emulators too, you will see like these banding vertical lines in all the textures, but on real hardware here, oh, wow, this looks really good. Looks good, runs good. The music is good. All the weapons and all the full levels of episode 1, with all the secrets and everything, are all here intact. Nothing is censored, of course, so all the graphics are intact. we go. Level 1 complete. I found 60% of the secrets. I definitely don't know all the secrets in this game. Do you want... There, okay, yep. Do you want to save? And then we have save slots, so we'll save. Okay. This is so good. Like, this is such a good port. This blows the Super Nintendo port out of the frickin' water. In so many ways. And it's not necessarily a fair comparison. That is a port that was done back in the day, probably under time constraints, as is often the case. The publisher wants the game out by a certain date, and they're going to farm off the development to whoever's going to do it at the cheapest price. And oh, by the way, you got to do it in 3 months. Right? Like, we found out that's the case time and time again. I died. I'm going to hit reset, see if the SRAM works. Yep. Well, it looks like it did save. But yeah, like I was saying, the Super Nintendo port, people are going to point out, how much better this is than the Super Nintendo port, and it really is. But again, not a fair comparison. If a talented, developer today wanted to take more time and give us a better Super Nintendo port, that might be possible. Look at fucking Doom on the 32X, right? Look at how rushed that was, how poorly it looked and ran and sounded, and all the content that it was missing. And then you look at like Doom Resurrection 32X today, and just absolutely every aspect of it has been improved, vastly improved. And so that just shows you what, a development team that has a more really care into the project, and isn't under, again, time constraints. Can you imagine if this came out in 1992? This game came out in 1992. Most people in 1992 honestly didn't have a PC capable of running this game. 1992 was very different times, pre-internet, and the average household didn't have a computer. And to buy a computer that could run Wolfenstein 3D this well, I think realistically this is running better than my 286 back in the day ran Wolfenstein. Now again, with a more efficient modern port, perhaps Wolfenstein on a 286 would run better than the original version did. But at the very least, this is like 286 levels, if not honestly like a 386 would have ran Wolfenstein 3D at the time. And buying a 386 computer even in 1992, again, it would have been expensive to own a PC like a 386 in 1992. And again, just most households didn't have that. But maybe you had a console, maybe you had your Sega Genesis, and this game came out in 1992. Imagine if this port came out in 1992. Just incredible. I just realized it's not showing our frame rate anymore. Aw, shoot. Well, died again. Anyways, guys, how's that for a look at Wolfenstein 3D on a stock Sega Genesis? Looking and running and sounding just absolutely perfect. This is a perfect port. It really is. No Sega CD, no 32X, just a stock Sega Genesis. This was possible all along. GA Sega 68K. Jesus Christ, man. You have done your homework, sir. And you've made honestly one of the best ports of any game on a technical level that honestly people didn't think was possible. And here it is. Not only is it possible, but it's just beyond anyone's expectations, I think. Good time to leave it off. There you go, guys. Wolfenstein 3D on the Sega Genesis. Again, link in the description. Again, as far as I know, this is the latest build with lots of new features and SRAM and all the good stuff. All right. See you later.